Hello, good morning, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am here it comes, you guys, second year first grade teacher! That was so weird. If this is the first video that you're watching, you're probably a little confused. It is summer, my first year just ended, and that is the very first time I have referred to myself as a second year teacher. You guys, I'm a vet. That's weird. Okay, anyways, today's video is going to be a summer day of my life. I have some fun things to show you guys. Right now, we are in my car. We're going to Starbucks. I have my mask with me. The Starbucks by our house reopened, I think maybe a month and a half ago or so, for drive-through only. And now they're doing mobile ordering where you can like go inside and grab it and go, but I don't feel comfortable going inside. So I just go through the drive-through with my mask on, grab it, come home, wash my hands, all that deal. So anyways, I'm gonna go to Starbucks, and then I am actually on the way to Starbucks. I'm going to call my little sister. She's never been on the video, so you guys don't know her, but I'm gonna call Abby, and I'm gonna ask her if she has a photo of herself that she would like me to make into a digital portrait, because then I can show you guys how I do it. Because if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might be a little confused, but we'll talk a little bit more about it later. I've been making a lot of digital portraits, so I think that would be a fun thing to show you guys. So I'm gonna get on the road, call Abby, get some coffee, and we are going to have a great sunshiny day. Oh, also I'm wearing new earrings, so it's always a great day. These were inspired by my friend Kim at Elementary in the Mitten. She does not have her ears pierced, fun fact, so she sent me the cutest pair of watermelon slice earrings because she thought they were super cute, but she can't wear them, and she knows I love earrings, so she sent me those, and now she's got me on a fruit kick, so I got lemons. So if y'all see any cute fruit earrings floating around that I should have, let me know. But anyways, let's get on the road. I'll talk to you guys soon. I am home now. It is time to get this day rolling. Fun news, they accidentally made my coffee into a Trenta, which in Starbucks terms is like super ginormous, jumbo, largest thing ever. So normally I don't get this size, but now I have a bucket of coffee with me, which is amazing. Probably a bad thing for the energy levels today, but that's fine. Now I am going to show you guys how I make a digital portrait, because if you don't follow me on Instagram, I shared some of these during Teachers Appreciation Week. I've talked about them here before on this channel, but then I did a 24-hour kind of limited time order form in case anyone wanted to order one, and I donated 100% of the profits to Black Lives Matter, which was amazing. We raised over $700, which I was able to then donate as I did all of the portraits, and I just finished those yesterday. But as I was finishing them, there were 42 of them, and as I did them and sent them out, people were posting them, and I got a lot of questions about how to do them or how I make them and how to use Procreate. So I'm going to show you. I have my iPad here. I have an iPad Pro. It's like the original iPad Pro. I think mine is 3 years old maybe, and an Apple Pencil first generation. And so what I'm gonna do is I am going to screen record while I do Abby's photo that she sent me, just so you guys can kind of see how I layer it, what different brushes I use. I'll do a time lapse so it's a little bit quicker, but just to give you a general idea, and then you can kind of get a glimpse into how to make a digital portrait. So I am going to start Abby's portrait now, and you guys can follow along. It took me an hour and 3 minutes, and I had a moment of panic because for a while after I ended the screen recording, it wasn't showing up in my camera roll. I'm assuming because the video was so long of me doing the whole thing. It'll be sped up when you guys watch it, so it won't be that long. But anyways, it wasn't showing up for like 10 minutes, and I thought that I had done that whole thing and that none of it had recorded. But luckily, thank goodness, it mysteriously appeared in the camera roll like 10-12 minutes later. So anyways, that is the digital portrait finished, and now I am typing an email. I am really excited to be kind of organizing a book club at my school for the summer. We are going to be reading, let me see if I have my copy, here it is. We're going to be reading Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria by Dr. Beverly Tatum, which is amazing because she actually taught at a college that is very close to my school, so just kind of poignant because she was right in the area. And I have been reading this already with some other teacher, YouTubers, influencers, whatever you want to call teachers on the internet. I've been reading this for, I want to say it's been like a month and a half already of us just like meeting and discussing the chapters and kind of digesting it together. So I'm excited to then do that with the other staff members, some of them at my school. That way we have kind of a shared vision and language for what sort of like anti-racist teaching might look like next year in our school. So I'm really excited. But anyways, I'm sending an email because I sent out a Google survey just to find out like what days, what times would work best for us to meet virtually via like Zoom or Google Meet to talk about the book. And we're going to be using the discussion questions written by the author. I'll link those down below as well as the book if you are interested. But now that everyone has had some time, this is the Friday of the first week of our summer. So we've all had a week of just like summer mode and had some time to purchase the book. I already sent out links to purchase from Black-owned bookstores online. So everyone's had a chance to purchase the book now. So we'll probably get started, I'm assuming, next week. So I'm just sending out an email to everyone, letting them know what days, what times, setting up the meeting, the first meeting, and sharing some like discussion guidelines also provided by Beverly Tatum, Dr. Tatum, excuse me. So I am excited about that. And then once I get this email and everything sent out and set up, I am going to be starting a study guide, and I will let you guys know about that in just a minute once this is sent out. You guys, my book box came from Scholastic. I am so excited. I am going to be doing that study guide that I mentioned. The email is all sent, by the way, but I first am going to show you guys what books I ordered because I am so pumped for these. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. But anyways, I did a huge book haul, I think like 1 week ago, from First Book Marketplace, which I had never heard of, and I shared all about like the organization and how to like order from them and how to qualify and everything over on my Instagram, and it is saved as a story highlight. So if you want to see a much larger book haul, I think I ordered like 40 books from First Book Marketplace, go to my Instagram. It's the yellow story highlight, I believe. But anyways, these are all from Scholastic, and they are titles that I wanted and couldn't find on First Book, or just titles that kind of like struck my fancy. You're going to notice a theme here. I am trying to make my classroom library more representative of my students. So I am seeking out a lot of books with Latino and Latina characters written by own voice authors. And then I also am hoping to find more books that can lead us into productive conversations about social justice. So anyways, let me show you what I got. The first book is called Pelo de Princesa. It is from Cherie Miller. I am excited. This book is in Spanish, which is perfect because our school has a very high population of English language learners. So I did have quite a few books in my library last year that were written in Spanish, but I'm excited to add more just so I can support first language literacy and kind of honor my students' native languages in our classroom library. So I'm excited for this one. I also got Rosa. This is one that I eyed on First Book, but it was sold out. So I picked this one up from Scholastic. I'm excited to use this to kind of launch a discussion about the civil rights movement, age appropriately, of course, but I'm just excited for this one. this one, The Snowy Day. This book is provided as part of our curriculum. So I actually have, I think, 2 copies of this book in our classroom already, but they're not in our classroom library, like for the students to read. They are a part of our like curriculum kit read alouds. So those aren't available for the students. They stay in the curriculum kit. So I'm excited to have this copy. I think it was honestly the $1 book, which is crazy to me because this is such a high quality book, but I'm excited to have this one for my kids. Alma and How She Got Her Name. I ordered this one in Spanish as well from First Book Marketplace, but they were sold out of the English copy, so I ordered it in English from Scholastic. So I am excited. I've heard a lot of people say that this is one of their very favorites, to kind of talk about honoring one another's differences and cultural differences, so I am very excited for this one. There's only one you. In all the world over, this much is true. You're somebody special. There's only one you. Very excited for that one. Some of these we'll read aloud. Some of these will be just in our library. This one, Happy in Our Skin. I got this one, Bilal Cook's Doll. I finally got a copy of Hair Love. I've had a hard time finding an affordable copy of this book, so I was very excited to find it on Scholastic for a pretty low price. You guys can look in the Scholastic bookstore. I'm not quite sure how much they were, but yeah, I picked up this one. I'm excited for that. I got Maya Lin, artist, architect of Light and Lines, designer of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Got that one. I got Except When They Don't. This one I like. Let me read you the back, the little blurb. It says, girls perform to fairy songs. Boys play football all day long. Boys yell boo and run away. Girls like kittens and ballet, except when they don't. I love this. And then the last one I got is called I Can Build It, Princess Truly. I have quite a few Princess Truly books in my room, and they were some of our favorites this year. My girlies especially loved Truly, Princess Truly, and I think I had only 3 of the Princess Truly books, so just to add another one made me excited. I was really, really pumped to see this on their website. So yeah, that is all of the books I ordered from Scholastic. Like I said, I ordered a bunch more from First Book, so if you want to see more books that I've ordered with the intent of diversifying and making my library more inclusive and reflective of our student population, then you can head over to my Instagram and watch that book haul. But now I'm going to put them all back in the box so that they can make it safely to my classroom in the fall. Hopefully, if we're in our classroom in the fall. And now I am going to get started on that study guide. I want to give you guys just a little bit of an update. I think a few vlogs ago, it was probably like over a month ago, I mentioned that I have to take my SEI Sheltered English Immersion MTEL. Well, those tests, because of COVID-19, the testing centers kept getting closed, and so test dates were kind of hard to find, hard to come by. I wanted to postpone my test a bit because I didn't feel prepared with everything that had happened with school, going digital, and just kind of all the other things, all the other balls I was juggling, so to speak. I felt that I wasn't fully prepared, so I wanted to just push my test date back a little bit. Well, here's the thing. There's not very many test dates and not very many testing centers are open. So I did push it back, and then my appointment got canceled, pushed it back, my appointment got canceled. So long story short, my test is now going to be next Friday, July 3rd, which I guess 4th of July Eve, but that's fine. So I am going to just run through, because it's been a while since my course that I took to prepare, I'm going to make a study guide with some important terms. And the course, I guess the company that hosted the course has a list of terms that you should be able to define in a sentence just to feel prepared and know the content well for the exam. So I'm going to start that today. Today is Friday, so I have a week, which is good, plenty of time. So I'm going to get going on that now, and then in about an hour, I think I'm going to stop so we can get some sunshine. But first, let me get started on this study guide. I spent the last hour or so creating the study guide and kind of formatting it out by topic. So on the test, this test is all about English language learners and sheltered English instruction. So the different topics are like WIDA levels, the 5 stages of second language acquisition, different vocabulary teaching strategies, just different things like that. So I kind of just like narrowed it down by subject, and then when I revisit the study guide later on or tomorrow, I'm going to start going in by section and typing in my little 1-sentence definitions, examples, summaries, just to kind of process them in chunks, and then I'll be able to review that, and then also review the course recordings and notes I have about the essay, because the essay on this exam is a beast. But anyways, that is all done for today, or for now. What I'm going to do now is make some lunch, and I want to show you guys what I have been loving for lunch. I have never had these before the last time I bought them at the grocery store. They are pot stickers, chicken and vegetable dumplings. I just get these at Big Y, is the grocery store that we go to, but I don't know why I've never tried these. My roommate, Megan, if you're watching this, my roommate, my freshman year of college, ate pot stickers, and I was like, what in the heck is a pot sticker? And she cooked them in the microwave, and these ones are microwavable, and I know they're probably much better if you cook them like a better traditional way, but you know, your girl is lazy. It's summer, so I'm making them in the microwave. But I've been eating these like probably every day. It's been an addiction lately. So I'm gonna make some pot stickers, and then we are going to go to, there's like a random soccer field by the local high school that no one really goes to, so we've been going there just to kind of read and be in the sun and get some daily sun. And looking at the weather for the next week or so, it's supposed to be horrible, like thunderstorms every day, which is great actually for me, because that means that I will just be in my study grind mode and I won't be jealous of people who are outside, because when it's sunny outside, I have a hard time staying in and getting things done. So the fact that it's going to be storming every day until my test, okay with me. But anyways, today is sunny and it's supposed to be like the last day of good weather for a week or so. So we're gonna go lay in the sunshine, read a book, something like that. But before that, I need some lunch. I'm gonna cook these, and I will see y'all at the field. Alrighty, we have made it out to our soccer field. I brought my book with me that I'm reading. Right now I'm reading Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. I know that this movie is available for free on multiple streaming services, but I am a book person. I would rather read the book before I watch the film. So I am about halfway done with it. It's really a great read about mass incarceration and the systemic racism that exists in our criminal justice system. So if you are interested, I will link this down in the description box. But I now am just going to read my book and get some sunshine for a little while, and then I will touch bases with y'all in a few. Hello, y'all. We are back at the house. It is, let's see, I have my iPad here. It is about 6:30 now, so obviously we had a wonderful day in the sun, read my book. I am not finished yet, but it's a page turner. The emotions that I feel reading this and knowing that it's not just a true story, but it is so similar to the stories of so many who are wrongfully convicted and facing life imprisonment and other horrible things in our prison system in our country. It just really moving is the word I would say for this book. So if you are interested, like I said, I'll link it down below. But anyways, now I'm home, and I wanted to wrap up today's vlog with a Q&A because I haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I know a lot of people had questions about like the end of my first year as a whole, my first year in retrospect, and also just some questions about things I'm going to be doing this summer, just a lot of questions. I don't think I'll be able to answer all of them, but I thought it would be fun to, in this video, with just kind of a chat with y'all and updating you on a few things and just answering some of your questions. So without further ado, that's why I have this here. I have all of the screenshots from my Instagram story where I asked y'all for questions. I have them on here so that way I can read and film on my phone. But if you are not following me on Instagram, I know I said that a few times in today's video. It's a good place to send questions like these if you want your questions to be answered in a video, or just to reach out via message as well. I try my best to respond to messages, I promise. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm trying to think where I should start. Ooh, this is a good one. Are you teaching first grade again next year? I had a lot of questions like this. Are you teaching first grade again next year? And I also had a lot of questions asking if I couldn't teach first grade, or if I wasn't teaching first grade, what grade I would want to teach. Would I ever want to teach upper grades? So let me answer those. I am teaching first grade next year in the same school. I mentioned like a while back that our principal retired. So we have a new principal coming next year. I'm really excited about that. But I will be in the same school, in the same district, in the same classroom, still in first grade. And to answer the grade level questions, I don't know. If personally, I feel that I am a primary teacher. Like, I don't want to leave the K2 grade band. I don't. I know that time changes everything, and maybe I'll get bored and want to leave, but my love in the classroom is really in foundational literacy and in the science of reading, and I love small group reading, and I think that I would really miss that if I was in an upper elementary class. And then aside from that, in Florida, my certification is K through 6, and had I been applying in Florida, I would have almost exclusively applied to K and 1 positions. First grade is like my jam. I don't ever want to leave first grade. Like, I see myself being someone who spends their entire career in the classroom in like first grade. But if I had to leave, I would want to go to K, but in Massachusetts, I can't. You have to have an early childhood license to teach kinder in Massachusetts. So yeah, there's that question. I will be teaching first grade. How old are you? Sometimes I'm not sure since you have your master's. I'm 24. I will be 25 in September, so expect my quarter life crisis at that point in time, but right now I am 24. I don't think I've ever said that on this channel. There's that. I have one that says hardest part about your first year of teaching. I have some others that say like hardest part of teaching in general, or what do you think is the hardest part of the job? So to answer that, I will say that it is hard to feel that it's okay to still be learning when you recognize the significance of a child's education. I battle to reconcile those things all the time. And let me explain what I mean by that. So in my first year, I understand that I am not going to be an expert teacher in my first year, but I also find that incredibly unfair to my students. And I have a very hard time giving myself grace and saying, oh, it's okay if I make a mistake. It's okay if I'm still learning, because they're not going to have another first grade. They're not going to have another year in first grade. I'm going to have many more years in first grade. And 5 years from now, I will be, I'm sure, much more effective than I was in my first year of teaching, but I just have a very strong passion for teacher preparation programs and that they do an adequate job, because as a first year teacher, to just trust that you know enough to do an effective job in the classroom it's nerve-wracking. And I felt that pressure, I would say, before school started. I've talked about this in previous videos. I just feel like there's not a lot of room for you to be new to things when you are holding a child's educational future in your hands, and not just one child, 18 to 30 kids in some districts. A lot of kids are relying on you to do your job and to do so effectively. So that is the hardest part, I think, about being a first year teacher, also about just being a teacher in general, is that personally, I feel there's little room for grace because it's a very high stakes job, but other people will disagree with that. Please don't come for me in the comments. That's just what I found to be the most difficult part about teaching. Sorry, I'm drinking my smoothie. I have some differently worded questions about like, how has outschool been going? Are you still going to work your summer job, summer plans? What are your plans for the summer? I have not yet started with outschool, and I will tell you why. That is because we just finished school a week ago today. So I was doing my school year job still. And then this week, I really committed to finishing all of the digital portraits that I kind of created as a fundraiser for Black Lives Matter. So I wanted those things to be done. And I also honestly wanted my SEI exam to be out of the way before I started dedicating time to outschool. I just have found that I'm a person who loves to do new things and put new things on my plate, even when my plate is real full. So I am very excited about outschool. I am going to be teaching with outschool. I am approved. I'm hired. I have not submitted any courses yet. I am waiting until my exam is over, till the school year was over, till all the digital portraits were done. And now that all of those things are going to be done soon, I am going to start dedicating more of my time to outschool. So there's that. Aside from that, summer plans, I am not sure. Typically, my family goes to Maine every summer for about 2 weeks, some up to a month. It's like a big gathering. We're not doing that this year for obvious reasons. Most of my family lives in Florida, and Florida is not in a good way right now as far as COVID goes. So it's just not very safe for us all to be like coming from different places and gathering, which is why I feel like I can work without school, because I don't think that it's going to interfere with any like summer travel plans, because I don't think I have any. Oh, these are just fun ones. Favorite mascara. I use L'Oreal Lash Paradise primer and mascara. How to become best friends with you. I don't know. You can ask Maddie at Primarily Yours. She's pretty good at being my best friend. What is your favorite thing to do when you're stressed? My favorite thing to do when I'm stressed. I say all the time that I get myself into a tizzy. I really do. I have a hard time managing stress, to be honest, because I have so many things on my plate at one time. But I would say once I recognize that I am stressed, which takes a while for me to get there before I admit that I'm a little stressed. I think my favorite thing is probably just to like take a drive and be like, I like to have specialty beverages, whether that be like a coffee or an energy drink or a smoothie. Like I like to have, but I don't like soda. But I would just like to have like a nice beverage with me and just go on a drive and see some stuff. There are some cows around here. There is one place that has fuzzy cows. Sometimes I go look at the fuzzy cows. It's good stress management. So yeah, I like to do that. I really like this question. It says, is there anything you would do differently for your first year if you could go back in time? Probably. When I reflect, I wish that I had done a better job of like familiarizing myself with the scope of our curriculum for the entire year, instead of just like looking at it for like the first month before school had started. Because what ended up happening, like now I understand where there might be holes in our curriculum, or where I wish like I could have sped this up a little bit so we could have expanded that a little bit. It's kind of things like those things come with time, but as a whole, I wish I had spent more time in the curriculum last summer. And that is something that I am going to be doing this summer, is familiarizing myself more with our curriculums that are provided, their standards alignment, what holes I think there are, and what shortcomings there are that I can change or fill by changing my instruction this year. And one thing that's great about this year, though, this year meaning like this school year that's upcoming, though it will be challenging and though there will be, I'm sure, many obstacles and hurdles, we are given a lot of leeway by our district this year in our approach to accelerating learning while making up for gaps that are a result of the long-term school closure. So I'm actually on a committee for that purpose, kind of planning the reading K-2 curriculum to address those learning gaps and that learning loss over summer. But I'm just excited to take a more critical look at the curriculum this year, instead of just being a first-year teacher who was given stuff and saying, okay, I got to teach this, I'm going to teach it, yay, I'm a teacher. I realize now that being a teacher is more like being critical about what you're doing and not just doing what you're told to be doing. So yeah, that is something that I will do differently next year in my second year of teaching. I have a few questions that ask, what made you decide to move to Massachusetts? Do you like it? Massachusetts versus Florida. What are you loving? Hating? They said that, not me. Someone else, I think, said something about like Western Massachusetts. I'm from there, so I'm biased, but what do you like? So let me just answer those questions in a bundle. I moved to Massachusetts because my boyfriend is here. His job is location-based. Mine is not, so that is why I moved here. Do I like it? I'm sorry, y'all that are from Massachusetts. I don't hate it. I like that we're together. I miss a lot of things about being near friends, near family. I think that has been the hardest part. So the other question, Massachusetts versus Florida, what are you loving? What are you hating? I am hating being very far away from family and being far away from friendships and far away from mentors. I wish more than anything that Maddie at Primarily Yours and I could teach in the same building. I would be getting some of her kindergartners as first graders next year. That would be the dream. That would be amazing. What am I hating? That's that. What am I loving? Do I like it? Yeah, I love that we're in the same place. Honestly, I love my school. I love my job. I love the community that our school is in, the students, their families. Like, if I could pick up my school and the city and the whole community and like drop it in Florida and we can move back to Florida, that would be, I think, like the best possible outcome for me. It's just not my home. Like, this doesn't feel like my home. I like the cows. There's that. I have some that say, why did you choose teaching? What keeps your passion for teaching alive in college, your experiences, anything? I have always kind of wanted to be a teacher, but I fought it for a while. In college, I had 2 other majors before I settled on teaching. I was poli-sci, and then I was dietetics. Fun fact, and it kind of landed on teaching. But my passion for teaching, I think, comes from my diverse schooling experiences, having moved around so much. My father was a career military officer, so I started school in England, and then I went to school in Alabama, private, public, different places in Alabama, different places in Florida, and I was fascinated by the differences in my educational experiences that were based solely on like my geographic location. I found that very interesting. And then in college, I was able to then study education inequity during some teaching abroad in Guatemala and then in Spain, and that is kind of like where my passion for teaching comes from. I really find it outrageous how different the educational opportunities in our country can be when you drive 5 minutes up the road from one type of neighborhood to another type of neighborhood. And that's something that I'm also learning a lot more about this summer. I'm reading a lot about the school to prison pipeline and kind of the criminalization of students in our school systems and what that sets them up for in life. And just kind of like the shortcomings of public education are something that I find very interesting. But that kind of like keeps me intrigued into teaching and like education in our country as a whole. Aside from that, I just love kids. Like I love first grade because they're little and they're excited, and I feel like that's such an important age. I did have some questions about like reopening in Massachusetts, or like what does my district's reopening plan look like? How am I like feeling about the Massachusetts like reopening plan? Honestly, like, it is what it is. I'm excited at the idea of like being back in school. So if you're in another state, the Department of Ed or DESE here in Massachusetts released like initial guidelines for returning to school and just stated broadly that they would like as many students as possible to return to school in an in-person setting safely. So that is what we're hoping to do, although we are planning for 3 different scenarios: fully at school, fully at home, or a hybrid model. So there's that. That's all we know. I feel okay about it. Honestly, I feel like our job is to teach, and as long as I'm teaching, I'm going to just keep chugging along and it'll be okay. So that's how I feel about reopening. What are you excited about for next year? Okay, kind of like speaking about reopening, I am excited to have a year under my belt because I won't be new to everything. But I also am excited because I have a feeling, or we've kind of been in like initial talks. Nothing is set in stone. So it's more than a feeling, but there are ideas being kind of like tossed about regarding class sizes being like split so that students can be safely socially distanced from one another, because with our current class size numbers, there is like no physical way they could all fit in a classroom 3 feet away from each other, which is the minimum that our state Department of Education has required. Max, or like requested, would be 6 feet. 3 feet is like minimum. They couldn't fit. There's no way. Like, our rooms aren't big enough. So I'm excited, honestly, at the thought of like smaller class sizes and what that would mean for differentiated instruction and for small groups and for like being able to really tailor what we're doing to the kids. I feel like that is maybe a silver lining of next year. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for. How to keep a healthy relationship while in this demanding career, or how to keep balance while teaching. That is, I think, the $1,000,000 question. I would say think of yourself as a person who teaches. We are all teachers, or a lot of us here are teachers, but just consider yourself a person, a full person who teaches. You have interest, you have passions, and you are allowed to have those interests, and you are allowed to have those passions, and you are allowed to spend your weekends on those interests and passions. You are allowed to spend a whole Saturday devouring a novel if that is your thing. You are allowed to spend your whole Saturday on the couch devouring an entire Netflix series if that is your thing. Whatever your things are, hold them dear to you, because it is so hard sometimes to put things down or to say it's the weekend, because there are truly not enough contract hours in the day to get done everything that you need to get done for school, but you cannot sacrifice yourself as a person. So you are a person who teaches. Take care of yourself as a person. There's my advice on that one. I'm going to answer 2 more. I've gotten this question a few times and I don't think I've ever gone through it. So I got asked what I keep on my lanyard. So this is my lanyard that I wear to school. I took off my badge. My badge is usually on my lanyard because we have to have it on at all times, like most teachers in our country, just for safety reasons. Sorry, I got messed up. And then aside from that, there is a little tassel and some beads that came on there. I have a whistle because we have to have a whistle. It's part of our crisis response kit. It always has to be on you. So I have that. I have a key to my classroom. I have visuals. These were very important to some of my kiddos. We use the same visuals across each room. So me and the SPED teacher, the behavior resource teacher, we all had similar visual cues for students. So they just say things like, they're kind of falling apart because they were laminated, but great job, stop, quiet, crisscross, listen, look, raise your hand, sit in your chair, work, walking feet. Sorry, this is getting a little ridiculous. Clean up, there's a lot of them. Wait, bathroom, and take a deep breath. And then on the back of the last one, this is actually one of the marbles from our marble jar. I just added, the marbles were held up by Velcro dots, so I added one to the back. That way, if we ever earned one, I would just reach down, take it. There's a spider. So I was saying, I have a marble on my lanyard, and I have my doorbell, my wireless doorbell, remote ringer. It's in a pocket back holder from Bath & Body Works, and I love this little sparkly unicorn holder and wanted it forever, for years to come. So I bought 5 of them. This is the first one. I haven't had to change it, but I was so fearful that it would break or get ruined and I would never again be able to get this perfect doorbell holder. So I bought 5 of them, and now I have 5 of these in my house, but this is what I use to hold my doorbell, and that is everything that I kept on my lanyard. And then I will do one more question to wrap it up. Alrighty, last question. Will you keep doing vlogs over the summer? Teaching related or not, just love following you. Well, thank you. That is very kind of you. I am planning on still making some videos over summer. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing as much school related things every week. I do want to continue to post videos about my process with outschool, and that will start, like I said, shortly. Next week, I'm focused mostly on my exam, and then after that, I'm going to be doing outschool. I'll still be serving on that committee to plan our reentry for K-2 literacy. I'm going to be prepping for next year. As far as classroom setup goes, it will be a lot more laid back than last year because I kind of want everything to stay the same, but I am planning on still doing vlogs over the summer. As far as the sentence or question that says teaching related or not, you guys let me know down below. It's a weird time in summer for teachers to share things because I don't want to play into the competitive over planning for next year. And I feel like there is a large trend typically over summer for like redoing your whole physical space in your classroom. And I don't feel the need to do that this year. So I don't want to film a 14-part classroom setup series, although I had such fun doing that last summer, and I definitely needed to do that because the room was new to me and I didn't like have anything set up. So it made sense then. I feel a little unsure about summer content as a teacher. So if y'all would love to still see some videos from me, let me know down below and I will keep filming them. But aside from that, that is the end of today's vlog. It is now 7:20, so it's been almost an hour of answering questions. Thank you guys for submitting such great questions. And also thank you for being here today on my channel again. Thank you for staying around for this video. If you liked it and you aren't subscribed, subscribe, leave a comment or a question. If I didn't answer your question and it's a really pressing issue, please let me know. Just reach out or comment down below and I'd love to get back to you on that. Other than that, thank y'all for being here. You know that you made my first year everything that it was, and I can't wait to see what the second year will be like with you guys here too. So love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.